welcome to the latest edition of Scrapbook Memories. I'm Beth Madlin, and this is Julie McGuffey, and we're your hosts.
And this season, we've assembled some of the most current trends in scrapbooking.
We sure have. Scrapbooking keeps evolving. We're seeing more digital, more paper crafting, and lots of mixed media.
Yeah, and these are all things you'll see on this series. But today, we're starting out with another trend, recycling and green scrapbooking. Obviously, I am dressed for the show.
And I'm not. I have a little bit of green.
You have a little bit of green.
Well, I like to make mini albums, but I don't use all the parts and pieces, especially when you get a kit. So what I like to do is reuse some of the items of a kit. So I've taken out of this kit, which has stickers and lots of papers, one sheet. And I have made close to 3 cards with this one sheet of paper, and I have more left over. This is actually an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper cut in half.
A quarter card.
Cool. Quarter card. So I make a lot of those and have those around. So when I am scrapbooking, if I have extra supplies, I just put them on there. And this is all from this kit and using various parts and pieces. And I even used a little bird.
Sweet.
Some of the buttons and the ribbon, the trim. Use up all the stuff you have. And how many times do we need a card and we don't have it on hand?
And I love the fact that they're on white. I mean,
easy.
You just get the big packs of white paper, and
Yes.
it's so economical.
It is,
and
very
you probably
economical.
have a lot around. And I love kits too, because I love the way all the colors work together. So we don't have to really think too much about it.
That's right.
Well, you know, recycling is big. And believe it or not, all these craft papers here, they're from recycled papers.
Can I just peek at one of these right here?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at those cute birds.
Aren't they tweet?
They're tweet. They are tweet. But I mean, the designs are really fun. And you think recycled, you often think browns and taupe. Well, they brought color.
And look at the papers too. I mean, they're not the normal square. Of course, there are normal square ones that you can get too, but they already have they're already decorative. And these are actually die cuts.
Right, you can pop them out.
Pop those out. There's this theme, and then there's these here. I mean, I think they're just absolutely adorable. And look at these projects.
The samples,
Here we go. I mean, look at this. This is the pink paper from the line, and just adding ribbons and just strips of words that you could probably do on the computer. The buttons.
And also the chalk ink, very delicately put around the edges.
Around the edge. And look at the stitching.
The sewing
Bringing
stitching.
out the sewing machine. It's, you know what, it really is worth it. And then we all have these little bulldog breads.
Right.
Maybe not in colors, but silver and black works well too. Look, this is one done on the circle paper.
Oh, that's
Isn't
fun.
it cute?
And the black and white photos on this brown craft paper show up very nicely.
Right, they really do. You know what, sepia.
Sepia would be lovely too.
Sepia would look really nice too. And I think Linda Satcast did a segment on that. I think we might see that later in the show. But look at the little crown and all the little chipboard on it. And again here, using the black and white photos.
Oh.
And using buttons. And I have a button box. Do you?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I bet you have a button box too.
Break them
Everybody
out.
has a button box.
Right.
Break them out.
Can I say this is actually already printed on here? At first I thought it was a die cut adhered, and then this is a die cut that matches it.
Right. And this is kind of like a half bracket.
When you look at the side.
A bracket shape, right, when you look at that side. And then look at this one. This is actually felt sewn onto the paper.
Okay,
Isn't
that is
adorable?
beautiful.
And with rickrack, there's a button on there, a little crocheted flower.
That's adorable.
It
Did we
really
show
is.
this card yet? I'm going to bring it back down here into our
and
little
cards.
hands.
Yeah, always save all those leftover pieces. We can always put them on a card, right?
And the little ribbons and,
pin.
things. I even save ribbons that this is a little nutty, but I save ribbons that I get that are actual ribbons on presents and reuse them because
I
they're
do
so
too.
stunning. So.
And you know what I save too? I save cards. Because a lot of the cards that we buy these days, they have embellishments on them.
You can pop them
Hey,
off.
you can save those too, so just pop them off.
Well, we have a little bit more coming up for you, and here's what's showing up in the rest of the show. First, Lisa Singer joins Julie for a perfect teen project. We've got mixed media photo frames hung from a recycled hanger. Then meet Julie Faye Fanbalzer. She's recycling a Tyvek envelope to create a card featuring a butterfly.
Next, Linda Satcast is up with a segment we taped earlier, creating sepia-toned photos, great for craft paper. It's a great way to reuse an existing photo for a new project. And finally, Julie Faye Fanbalzer will be back with the first of 5 special lessons for this season. Julie is presenting design tips for scrapbooking and just about any kind of craft. And the first is all about contrast. So let's join Lisa. Lisa Singer joins us from Elmer's, and I love this project that you've brought with you.
Well, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about
it.
it.
Yeah, this is a great project that helps you recycle products that are already in your home, such as a skirt hanger, as well as some binder clips that I'm sure many people have several floating around in their
Right,
drawers.
and drawers everywhere. So how did we get started with this?
All
It
right.
looks really easy to do.
It actually is really easy. There's a few steps, so we'll go ahead and jump right in. We're going to use foam core to start, and you're going to want to cut 5 pieces of 4-inch by 4-inch squares. So we're going to use our cutting mat here. You always want to use a mat when you use a craft knife. And we've already got measurements on our mat, so we're just going to measure over 4 inches.
So you're actually using the mat as a guide to line up your rule, and so we don't need to
Right.
get out the pencil and make
Right,
marks
so
and
it's
things like
also
that.
a time saver for
Oh,
you as well.
definitely. And it's such a versatile surface, and it's lightweight.
Yeah, it's really great and lightweight, especially because we're hanging it on ribbon here. So we've went ahead and made our cut.
Okay,
Just go ahead and set that aside.
alrighty.
And then we're going to trim our photographs to size.
Okay,
Use my ruler again to line it up.
and just lining it up with the edge of the photographs.
Yep, correct. Just taking off the white space from when we printed the photos out.
That's really neat. You know, I have friends who are crafters and scrapbookers, and all they use is a craft knife.
I know.
And they just love it. There's so many different things that they can do with
It's
it.
very versatile, and you always are able to get a precise cut when using
Right.
it as
You know,
well.
especially if you cover chipboard letters with paper or something, you can cut right around them. It makes it so easy. Well, do you want me to go ahead and cut the rest of those for
Oh,
you?
sure, yeah, if you
Okay.
wanna cut
and
the
did
others
you want it
loose.
to start gluing
Sure,
maybe?
sure. We're going to take our 4-inch by 4-inch squares that we use, and we're going to use a glue applicator. So I'm just going to press down to give me a spot of glue on the back of the photographs here.
And just center those on the foam board.
Yep, you just center them right up.
There we go.
It's great because it's pretty quick and easy to use too. So you-
Right. And the foam board, it's got paper on both sides of it, right? So
Right.
it's easy to adhere things to it as well.
Exactly. So and these glue dots are pretty adhesive, so you can get a really good bond when you're working quickly. So you only need a couple on each side.
Okay.
So once you get that complete, you're going to want to use a tacky glue to adhere your wood frames onto the foam core.
Okay. Now these also come from basically a craft store, and it's wood, and the felt is already on there and everything. They
Right.
just come like that?
Yep, they're prefabricated, so you can just take the design as is, which is also another great time saver, and you're just going to want to spread a thin, even application of the glue on the back.
Okay. All right. Now you're using a thicker glue for this, right? Because this
Yes.
is wood that we're adhering to the paper.
Right.
Oh, that's so cute. There we go.
Press that down so it stays in place.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to do one while I finish up the other one
Okay.
here?
All righty. You're going to share that glue with me, right?
Yes, I am. And the great thing with tacky glue too is that it dries clear, so in case you're a little bit messier with the glue application on the back of the frame, you don't have
It's
to
not
worry
going
about
to be.
it.
It's not going to be
Right.
a problem. Okay. We'll go all the way around. This is pretty cool. You know, I like the nozzles on these too, because you can open it up more and you get a thick line, or you can get
Right.
a thin line.
And they don't clog too when you close them.
Right.
Now, I don't know if you're like me, Julie, but sometimes I tend to forget what year I took the picture in.
Oh,
or
yes.
who's in the picture. So I always like to indicate on the back where I took the picture as well as who's in
And
it.
who's
with
in
me.
it? Uh-huh.
So I'm just using a paint marker here to write down the date of 2008.
Okay, and that's good because if you're using the paint mark, you can actually see it. Especially important when it's on the black, right?
Right, right. And the white shows up really nicely on the back. So
All right.
Just set
so
that
we've
aside
just got
to
a
finish
few of those
drying.
done. Okay, and now we're going to put them on the ribbon.
Yep. So since we're using the foam core, which has the paper base, gluing it to ribbon, we're going to use a fabric and paper glue for this.
Okay.
We're just-
So we always need to basically look at labels and things like that.
Yeah.
If you want to glue fabric, then you would look for something that said fabric.
Right. You always want to make sure you take a little bit of time to read the labels and understand what you're going to be working with.
Right, it's important because you want it to
You want
stay
to trust
on
that
there.
it'll work. So we're just going to put a little dab of glue there.
Okay, well let's put that one there. And then because I know we're going to position these so that we can make sure that the center one is going to be in the right place.
And again,
right?
our grid
We'll pop
works
that
great
there.
for that.
Yeah, I love a mat when it has all the measurements on it because it really is a time saver.
Yeah, and it makes it very easy to use. So I might need just a little bit more for that one.
Alrighty.
Go ahead and press it down.
Okay.
And then I always like to embellish my pieces to give them a little bit more character.
You need to jazz it up just that little bit
so
more, right?
We're going to use a little bit more of the fabric and paper craft glue and put a little more dot down here. Oops. We're just going to put the first little floral
And
piece
again,
down.
it's a silk flower, so you're gluing fabric to fabric.
Correct.
Right? Now, if you're gluing wood to paper, for example, you probably would want a glue that has a little bit of extra strength. Is that
Right,
right?
or
'Cause
extra
you always-
tack with the
Extra
tacky
tack, right?
glue.
Because the wood is the most important thing to glue.
Right, and you don't want your piece to fall apart when you use
Okay,
it. So.
and then all we do is add a little
Add a
jewel
little
to the
gemstone.
center. And while you're doing that, Lisa, let's just go back and look at
Okay.
this finished project. It's so funky. It's so fun. I just love it
Yeah.
for teens and in a dorm room or something like that. And I love the way you've got the hanger on there
Oh,
and
thanks.
hooked it over at the top. Very cool. And the single one, we can do those too.
Yes, definitely.
Lisa, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Now, stay tuned because Beth is going to be right back with Julie, Faith, and Balzer.